Alright, here's a video review for the X2Toys upgrade set in conjunction with Shadowfisher, the XS001 upgrade kit for Devastator. You see he's kind of in parts now because it's going to make it a lot less clicking and clacking around as we get all this stuff going onto him, because some of this stuff you really gotta lay him back to get some stuff off. I just figured it'd be a little bit less of a less jumbled if we just start off like this and go from there. So you get a whole bunch of pieces. One of the pieces is already on here. You can see this is the new hip plate versus this is the stock hip plate on there. And you can see that the new one has some purple on it, some little orange details around it. And it's just slightly different shaped. It's actually about the same height, but it's not as, I said, here's the original. It doesn't come out quite as far as the original plate. It's just a slightly different design with some purple and some orange instead of just the black and silver there. And again, there's a comparison of the two. You can see that one's just a little smaller than the one that comes with Devastator. And to pop those on, you just want to kind of come under here, push this piece off, and then this just clips right back onto that little joint. And now you have both hip plates attached. And you just do that on both sides. There's a couple little purple pieces that attach to his legs. They plug into these little areas right here. So you just pop those on. And he's got some little purple detailing there on his lower legs. Or on, I guess, his upper legs, his thighs, basically. The piece I was most excited about in any of these Devastator upgrade kits, a cab for Mixmaster, which is nice. And you just basically close this up. You can see there's little notches here on either side of his cab. And this piece has a couple grooves up in here. I don't know if you can see that right there by my thumb. I'm trying to figure out where my camera is here. You see a couple little groove up in there. And you just slide this on over the cab. Come on, getting it lined up can be a little bit of a pain. You just clip that on. Sure, it clips all the way on, and now you've got a more G1 looking cab foot there on Devastator, which is pretty cool. That I really like. I like these purple bits. Now up here on the upper body, there's a lot of pieces to go into place here. You've got these shoulder panels that are going to plug in. They plug in onto the port here, and then the arm robot plugs in on this new port, which is higher up. You also get, you can see this piece right here. This is a little hinge piece. And this is where the ratchet's going to be for the shoulder. And for whatever reason, they've given you extras. You get two of these pieces, one from each side, obviously, and they give you a couple extras of those ratchet pieces. And I don't know if these are fixed. There's nothing in the instructions about them. I don't know if they're maybe just in case these wear out, but whatever, you've got a couple of extra pieces. You can unscrew these panels, or the screws, you can unscrew these, and replace those ratchets if you ever need to. All of these pieces, the new hand piece and everything, can attach to long haul in various configurations. It's shown in the instructions. You can have them with the claws kind of forward or up, or you can rotate. Have these face the other way towards the back, so that these little claw pieces right here fold around behind long haul. You can see this piece rotates here to allow that. But anytime you add all the stuff on the long haul, it looks a little silly. I do like the fact that you can give him giant monkey arms if you want. That's kind of cool. Something that you can't see also real quick, you get a screw, an extra screw, and and it even comes with a little red screwdriver in the kit, which is nice to work on it. And that goes in right here on Bone Crusher's arm, and that tightens this elbow joint. It makes it a lot. It's a slightly longer screw than the one that comes with it, so it really holds this together tighter and holds the heavier arms. Scrapper does still, or not Scrapper, Scavenger does still suffer a little bit from a loose elbow especially with these larger hand pieces attached. But we'll show that off in a minute. So anyway, once we get to this point, you've got to assemble. You can go ahead and attach these, I guess. So this one goes on his left shoulder, and it just plugs in. Get this tab out here. It plugs onto the connector tab. If I can get it here, and then it plugs into Long Haul's fist here, just like that. And same on this piece as well. You just plug it in right here onto the connector port, and then plug this into the fist. Oh, still twisted a little bit from I was twisting it earlier. Then you just plug that into his fist like that. That'll hold up better once we get all the arms attached. And then after that, the only thing left is the arms here. So you've got the forearm and then new purple hands. And these hands are actually pretty neat in that they are fully articulated and they're purple. Just like this. So to assemble these arm pieces, you have to take the original arms from Devastator, pop out the hand like this, and then push the connector pieces apart, so you just have this middle piece right here. The hand and this piece go off to the side to wherever you want to store them, but then you take the hand itself and slide it into this. So it uses these same connector pieces. So you snap that in so it rotates, and then you've got to take this and pop it onto these little nubs here in the arm itself, which is a little bit of a pain because this piece, it's thicker and sturdier, and it doesn't have as much give as this piece. Like this piece, it's very easy to pop off because it's just a simple little U shape and easily bends out. With all the reinforcement and the thicker pieces in here, you really kind of got to take some work to get these snapped in, but you got to snap these in. If we could just spread like just a millimeter more, you get that, and you got to snap that in there. And once that's in, then you've got the forearm plate. This being his left hand, it'll go on Bone Crusher. But yeah, so you got fully articulated fingers, and then it's got a little peg hole. It pegs in to this peg hole just like the previous arm piece did. So you just line this up, find that peg hole, and you just push it on, and then close up this flap. And there's the new arm. And it's the same thing on the other hand. Pop this out, pop the hand out. Takes a little doing. There we go. Pop the hand out, pop the new hand in all the way, and then open this up and get it pushed up into here. Get the hand out of the way here. Actually, I probably want to do it like this. There we go. And once that locks into place, and again, these can fold. These hands can fold away into the forearm. I'm not doing it right here, but these can fold away into the forearm just like the other hands do when you have it all in long haul, if you choose to do that. And this attaches again. It just plugs into the peg hole right here. Just line that up. There, peg hole. Where are you? It's hard to see once you get all in there. Let me see here. There we go. There we go. You just plug that onto the peg hole, close that up. And then the arms attach up here like they would up on the regular figure. And then they peg into either side of these connectors. Instead of pegging in back here on the back of the arms or on the back of Long Haul's fist, they peg in onto the ends of these things. So you just got to come under here, peg the treads on. So I can see what I'm doing here. Come on. There we go. Let's peg those on. There's the arm. And you can see this side, because this side is pinned, they couldn't do an extra screw. So this arm does tend to be a little heavier. You could probably tighten that up with some floor polish or whatever your joint tightener of choice is. Go ahead and snap this back in place. And then same with Bone Crusher over here. Go ahead and snap him onto his connector, and then peg him on to this green piece here. And there he is, all upgraded with the X2Toys kit. And so here's Devastator all hooked up with all the upgrade bits. And he looks pretty nice. Like, it does give him, like, I like the bigger forearms. It gives him a much more imposing stature. I love the cab. The hip plates, like I said, the hip plates look nice when you're up close. Like, from far away, visually, I don't know that you can tell the difference if you're holding them up, but from a just straight up looking at them standpoint, visually they're not super distinctive from the ones that come with it, but it is a little nicer to have those not quite as chunky, and I do like the extra detailing on them. The purple pieces on the legs look nice. The cab, like I said, looks great. And the shoulders, it pulls the shoulders up and allows you to use the whole vehicle as the thing, because that piece up here, I said you can replace, it can move the arms forward here as the whole vehicle instead of just this piece right here. It also does lift up, and this is where it starts to get a little wonky, because when you start to put the arm out like that, it really highlights the fact that his shoulder connector is way up here, kind of actually even like level with the top of his head, which is a little disproportionate. It doesn't look bad, but when you start to lift it up like that and you see it's just connected very thinly up here, it takes away a little bit of that illusion of big, giant, bulky robot. But if you just have it down here and stuff, or maybe even just one click, it doesn't look so bad. But that's my only one real complaint about how this all connects. It does leave you with some a bigger extra pieces if you turn them all into vehicle modes, which, like I showed you, can attach to long haul, but it's a little much. It's kind of overkill. He's got full, he's got wrist rotation. He's even got a side to side wrist rotation, as well as the individually at each knuckle, both right here at the palm, middle knuckle, and the fingertips. So you've got the full range of articulation in the hands, which is nice. So it adds that. Like I said, and I do like the cab. The gun itself, it just kind of slotted into the tab with the gun, and it held it okay. But this piece comes with an extra piece for the gun that just pushes right up into the gun, and these little tabs here on this piece fit in little slots in his fingers here. You can see there's some little slots in between his on this first joint of the finger. So when you put it in his hand, those can tab in there, and then you can wrap his fingers around it. And then the thumb even sits up. The thumb has a couple of raised bits on it on the hand. The top of the thumb, this line here is a groove that allows it to sit up in the gun itself, kind of like that when you wrap the hand around it. I'm going to see if I can get this in here properly. It is a little tricky to do, especially with those tabs on the finger, but it does straighten his thumb out here. Come on, thumb. But he can wrap his fingers around the gun, and he does hold it fairly securely. Now, again, the weight of the gun now on the arm does affect Scrapper's elbow. You can get it at a slight angle, but you lift it up too much past that, it wants to fall straight back down. Again, you can tighten that elbow, or you can have him hold the gun in his other hand. Like I said, the weakness of this joint, it's hard to fault the set for this, because that's a Hasbro issue and not the fault of the set. Although it's the weight of the set that's pulling it down a little harder than just the standard hands from Hasbro did. But if that hadn't been pinned, it would have been you could have gotten a bigger screw like on Bone Crusher's side, because like Bone Crusher can bend his elbow up and it's just fine. He supports the weight just fine because of that extra screw. But all in all, I think it makes him look much cooler. It makes him look much bulkier. Even if you don't choose of all these sets, I think, even if you choose not to use all of the parts, that Mixmaster cab is very nice looking. And you can keep it on in vehicle mode. It's just a matter of flipping it down to give him more of a traditional G1 Mixmaster look, which is really what was my biggest issue originally with this figure, was that weird little cab on Mixmaster. And from what I've read, it seems like a lot of people were credited that. I think the base Devastator is a fun figure. But this kit really adds a lot of stuff to it. Will I try out any of the other upgrade sets? I don't know. But this one makes him look very large and impressive, and I'm quite happy with it. I really do like the forearms and the posable fingers here. I think that gives a little purple on the forearms versus just the plain solid black hands that the original Hasbro came with. I think the Takara one may have purple hands on it, but yeah, so there is the XS001 upgrade kit for Devastator from X2 Toys.